You know something? What's going on, Ball for Sports? I don't know about you, Giant fans, but I am sick and tired of this team finding ways to lose games, man. Another loss. Another loss. We had a chance. We hung in there, and we just don't get the job done, man. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into the game. Giants lost to the Steelers 26-18, dropped the record to 2-6. Man, I tell you, this team, man, I mean, there is, before I get into the game, I just want to tell everybody, thank you for joining me. And if you're new to the channel, I would appreciate if you like and subscribe to this channel, Born for Sports. I would appreciate it, especially if you're a Giant fan. But just so you know, I talk all sports, man. But tonight is about the Giants. And this is another frustrating loss. So many of them on this team all year long. And this was no worse than that. There was no difference. You know, there's got to come a point where this team has to just figure out what is not working and what needs to be done to get out of this rut. They are in a rut as a franchise, and this is one of the reasons, one of the examples of what we have seen from this franchise the last 6 to 7 years, man. It's ridiculous. This was a very winnable game. Very winnable. And it seems like so many times this year, I have come on, and any Giant fan watching games at home, me as a season ticket holder, being in the stands, watching this thing, and it's just like, when is it going to end? When are they going to figure it out? Well, tonight was one of the examples of what the problem is with the New York Giants, man. You know, they just do enough to keep you like, you know what? They got a chance. They're playing well. They're hanging in there. They're hanging in there. Tough environment in Pittsburgh. And what happens? Something they are not supposed to have happen. The turning point of the game was the punt return. The damn special teams, man. The game changed right there. It was a defensive slugfest. The Steelers were moving the ball offensively. You know, the Giants have a lot of injuries to the secondary, to the cornerback room this week. Okay, they're battling out there. Russ is going up and down the field, looking like Seattle Seahawk Russ. But nevertheless, the Giant defense doing all they can, making them kick field goals. A 9-9 game in the third quarter. Because, of course, this offense can't score touchdowns. They just can't. I mean, if we're lucky if we get one touchdown a game. Maybe one. I swear to God, we have to be one of the teams that has the most field goal attempts in the league. Because this offense can't score touchdowns, man. And this is another week of it. 9-9 game, opportunities getting into the red zone, and they can't score in the first half. But nevertheless, it's a 9-9 game. They're right there. And what happens? The freaking special teams, a punt return, a punter who they picked up 2 weeks ago from the street. He punts, and there's absolutely no kick integrity. None. No return. No return defense integrity on this. And the guy goes up. Austin, 73-yard punt return touchdown. Changed the whole freaking game, man. And you knew right there it was going to be an uphill climb for this Giant, this Giant team to stay in this game and to make it a game. Unreal, bro. Excuse me. Let's get to the chat, man. Tyquan Lewis, shout out to you, bro. What's going on, man? Man, I ain't good right now, man. I am sick and tired of watching this slop of offense every freaking week, man. Every week. Every week, man. It's like if it ain't one thing, it's another. Either the quarterback doesn't play well or something goes wrong. Somebody drops a pass. Somebody, a key turnover here and there, a missed field goal, an injury to a kicker. It's ridiculous, man. The crap that goes on with this team, man. It's ridiculous. It's always something, bro. It's always something, man. They just can't get out of their own way, man. This was a winnable game. I'm sorry. This was a winnable game, man. Okay? And honestly, coming into this game, I was worried because I was like, man, the Steelers are going to probably have their way up front with the offensive line. The first half, they wasn't too bad. Second half, they started getting home as suspected. You got dogs on that front seven in Pittsburgh. No Andrew Thomas. Hubbard, we picked him up off the street. And isn't it ridiculous that Evan Neal is so much of a bust in the coach's eyes, they don't even want to throw him out there. They don't even want to throw him out there. They'd rather go pick up a guy in the street. They'd rather do that instead of moving Illuminor to the left side and putting Neal at right tackle. They don't even want to do that. They go pick up a dude from the street, and he looked like shit in the second half, man. Hubbard. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, man. Gotta be kidding me. Danny R, what's goody, bro? What's going on, brother? Danny R, once again, DJ proves to us fans once again that he ain't it, and these DJ supporters are going to stop being in denial. Listen, I'm just sick and tired of this DJ conversation every week with him. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Is he the guy? Listen, it's time for us Giant fans, not me, because I have my reservation. I was never sold on DJ. I'm not. And I just come to the realization. I've been come to the realization, but I think Giant Nation just has to go to the realization that he is who he is. He is who he is. He's not going to be a guy that's going to elevate your team or your franchise. He's going to do enough, just enough. Can you win games with him if everything around him and the operation is good and the defense is really good and the offense is, yes, the offensive line is good, yes, you can win some games with him. But is he the guy going forward that's going to take you to the next level? No, he is not. I'm sorry, he just isn't. I know what he is. I have been knew what he is. I just held out hope that he could be better than what I thought he could be. You know why? Because that logo in the back that you see is what I'm all about. This logo here on the hat is what you see is what I'm all about. I'm all about the team, and I want to win. So I hope that he would show something in year 6, year 3 under this coaching staff, and all he's showing basically is what we know he is. He is just enough to win a few games, but he's not the guy. He just isn't. He just isn't, man. I don't hate him. I think he could be a solid game manager type of quarterback. Some fans might not want to hear that. I'm going to tell it to y'all straight. And when you come to this channel, it's always going to be straight. When he's good, I say he plays good. When he plays bad, I say he plays bad. You know what? Let's get into it. And I'm not even going to say it's all on him tonight. It's not. That's another thing, too. I want to get that out there. It's not all on him. The offensive line in the second half could not, for the most part, block him. Block that front seven. That's a really good front seven in Pittsburgh, man. You got TJ Watt. You got Haywood. You got Highsmith. Man, there's some all-pro caliber players in that front seven. They're a good defense. Okay? So you can't make mistakes. You can't. And what happens? Now, the fumble I'm not going to put it on him. TJ Watt made a play. He's a great player. He just is. He's a great player, man. You know? He's a great player, and he made a play. Okay. It is, and it's against that bum Hubbard off the street. Goes right in, strips Danny. Stripped him. Would I've liked to see Daniel Jones, his internal clock in that pocket, knowing he's been getting hit all game, be a little more faster? Yeah, of course. But you know what? I know who he is. So I didn't expect that to happen. So I'm not even mad at him no more for it. Because, and it's sad because I know what he is, man. His knock has always been what? Slow eyes in the pocket, no anticipation, not enough anticipation throws with his throws. Even Aikman was pointing it out on the broadcast all night about his anticipation issues, about how he doesn't get the ball out in time when he's supposed to usually on certain plays, especially down the field. When it's the short intermediate, he's decent. But when it's downfield, he's always late on it. I know I wasn't the only one that's been saying that, but that's what they said. But also, his pocket presence has always been an issue, even coming out of college. Okay? So I'm not even going to be mad at him for that. TJ Watt's a great player, made a play. But the last drive of the game, we're driving the ball, got a shot to do something, and what does he do? He airmails a pass. He airmailed it over Singletary's head for an interception. How did I know that was going to happen? Because I know who he is. DJ is who he is. We can't expect him to be more than what he is. We got to just accept it as a fan base that he's not the guy. He's a tough guy. I'll give him that. He's tough. He's a tough guy. One thing I will never, ever knock is the guy's toughness. He takes hits. He's a runner. He does that. Sometimes to his own detriment because he doesn't slide. But he's a tough guy. But was there any doubt in our minds watching this team the last 6-7 years, especially with this quarterback, that it just wasn't going to work out into either he wasn't going to get the ball into the end zone in time, or it was just not going to happen? And he threw an interception. He airmailed the guy. Dude, can you go to the next play? Just throw it out of bounds and move on to the next play. It's year 6, man. Just get rid of it. Did you have to airmail it? No, he didn't, but he did. You know why? Because I know who he is. I'm not surprised. I'm not. I'm just not. We've been watching this for years now, okay? God bless for 2022. I always appreciate 2022 from the guy, what he did for the team, how he played well in that second half of the season with Brian Dable. That Minnesota Viking playoff game, I will always remember that. But he is who he is. We have to, as a fan base, we have to just accept that, man. It's kind of sad that we expect these things to happen. But this franchise has been in a rut. It's not all his fault. There's been other things and other factors around over the years of why this franchise has been in the problems they've had. But the Dave Gettleman mess needs to be cleansed, man. It just needs to be cleansed. It's just not going to work out here for him. It's just not. Maybe if a change of scenery could be good for the guy. Maybe. Maybe it's just better that both sides just amicably divorce each other and go around their separate ways after this season. It just is what it is. You know? It's not going to work here for him. Obviously, you look at the way he plays at home and the way he plays on the road. That tells it all for me. I've had it with that. I have had it with that I pay my hard-earned money as a season ticket holder to go watch this team, and every time I see them play at home, they can't score a point. He has worse games at home than on the road. I am tired of hearing that. That is ridiculous. That should never happen, man. That should never happen with your starting quarterback. If he's your franchise guy, he should not play bad at home and better on the road. That's ridiculous. And his better on the road isn't that much better than what's at home. So what does that tell you? Hey, the writing's on the wall, man. The writing is on the wall. Raul Havana, what's goody, bro? At least you beat the Browns. Yeah, at least we beat the Browns. Well, you know what? If they had Jameis Winston, we might not have beaten them. You know? You see the way they look with Jameis yesterday? Thank God. That was a good game. That was a solid game for DJ that day. I'll give him that. Solid game. We had a good game that day. Defense turned up. But we got one of those. Jesus Christ, man. I tell you what, man. This team is just killing me right now, bro. It's killing me right now, man. Tyquan Lewis, bro, I'm with you. This team is getting on my nerves. Yeah, man. I mean, they just do enough to lose. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, to give up that play, a punt return like that, in that point of the game, 9-9 tied, and, you know, the guys are out there, they're fighting hard, and then you give up a specialty group. The guy was untouched. He wasn't even touched. Man. Ridiculous, man. Right there, I knew right there, oh, man, forget about it. And then they ended up scoring another touchdown, which made it 2 scores. And give the team credit. They fought. They kept fighting. They kept scrapping and crawling and scrolling. Hey, the defense got a ball, got a big turnover back. You know, Okereke was all over the field tonight, by the way. 14 tackles. You know, defense did all they could. Azeez Ojulari had a couple of sacks. Dex was Dex, of course, as always. Defense fought hard. The corners were suffering. Deonte Banks must have got he had to have gotten some benching there, I saw, okay, as well. And that didn't help the cornerback room as well. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay. However, the team kept fighting. I'll give them that. Dable has his team playing hard. Okay. It's not like they're quitting on this coach. This coach is trying everything he can. The only issue I have with this coach is that Jalen Hyatt never touches the field. That's what I don't like, and I don't understand. It's a mystery to me why. But, hey, they're playing hard for him. The game plan I thought was pretty good tonight. They went to the run, something that I felt like they should have did more the last 2 weeks, okay? They should have went to the run the last 2 weeks more. I understand the Eagle game got kind of out of hand, so it's a little tough for that to sustain running it. I mean, they lost 28-3 because the freaking off, you know, whatever. But the game against Cincinnati could have went to the run more, but they did. Tonight, Tracy had a really good game, I thought. Tracy showing his stuff. And if there's any doubt that kid should be the starting running back, now, if you watch this channel and you know me, I've been on the Tracy wagon. I said, no. I said Singletary with his fumble issues early in the season, that bum Eric Gray who can't catch a punt, he can't hold a handoff. You sneeze next to him, he's dropping the ball. This guy is the most talented guy in the running back room, and he's showing it. 145 yards tonight, a touchdown, another really good game. Hey, only problem is he came out of the game. Obviously, he came in the game banged up. He played his ass off. He came out of the game. So hopefully, you know, he'll be all right, and we're able to go next week. Hey, Tracy, I think we got something here. Joe Shane has really had a really good draft class, man. They're all contributing. They're all young players. They're going to make mistakes. I get it. They're going to make their mistakes, but they're out there battling, man. And that's really good to see. That was really good to see. Danny R says it wasn't a winnable game because we were on prime time. Yeah, of course. Another game we lose on prime time. Hey, NFL, stop putting the Giants on prime time, man. Just stop. Just stop. I get it with a New York team. We're a flagship franchise, the tradition and all of that. This franchise cannot be on prime time until they earn that keep again. They just can't. I'm tired of watching it. I don't even what the record on prime time is ridiculous. The record on prime time with Daniel Jones is utterly ridiculous. But this team should not be on prime time. Flex out. If there's any more games on prime, just flex us out, man. Next year, don't even put us on prime time unless something astronomical happens in the offseason. I don't even want to even see this team on prime time. I'm telling you, it's kryptonite. Every time it's kryptonite, man. Raul Havana says, could be a Jet fan. Well, listen, that is true. That is true. Give me Big Blue all day, any day, every day, 365 over being a Jet fan. And I'm not even trying to be Fowler on the Jets, okay? Because I have some friends that are Jet fans. I know arrogant Jet fans have been a little crazy since the Rex Ryan days. However, I do know Jet fans, and I feel for those guys, man. I feel for them, those fan base, those certain fans in that fan base, man. Because, man, give me the Giants any day with their misery. At least I seen my team win a few Super Bowls. At least I seen stretches of dominance and stretches of really good football over the years in my lifetime as a Giant fan. The Jets are an utter disaster. I mean, they have Aaron Rodgers. They had all these things, this roster that was supposed to be good, and it's gone to shit. It's gone to shit. Taekwon Lou says, we know what Jones is, 6 years worth. Yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I mean, it just comes to the point we just have to accept it, man. You know, the guy works hard. He tries hard. He'll show glimpses here and there that, hey, he's got some talent in there somewhere, but it just isn't him. He's not him, man. He's not the guy, and it's just not gonna work here. It's just not gonna work here, man. It's just not. It's just not. This is not. He needs to change the scenery, probably go somewhere and go find it. Maybe the Sam Darnold route, you know, the Geno Smith route, you know, those guys. He needs to do something like that. It's not going to work here. It's too much going on right here. The Giants franchise needs to just cleanse themselves of the Dave Gettleman gaps and move on. The only two guys from the Gettleman class, Gettleman drafts, that should still be here as Giants are Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, rightfully so. Saquon's gone now. Hey, we're going to have to move on from DJ. We're 2-6. We're 2-6. We're not going nowhere. You know where this is trending. Sooner or later, they're going to start thinking about, you know, injury guarantee clauses and contracts, and they're going to move on after the season. They showed you already in this past off season with the hard knocks, with the decisions they made, that they're already thinking about when it's time to move on. This was his last shot. It was sink or swim for him. And the team is 2-6. He hasn't established himself as he's the guy. As much as there's Giant fans out there that want to believe he can be, it's not going to be here, man. If it happens for him, it's not going to be here, man. It's just time for an amicable divorce from the two after the season, man. It just is what it is. I mean, I'm a frustrated Giant fan. I've given this guy 6 years of my life, man. You know, and like I said before, I'm not saying it's all his fault why this franchise has been bad the last few years. I'm not. It's not all on him. There's been bad coaching hires, okay? We had Pat Shurmur, we had Joe Judge, okay? We had Dave Gettleman as the team president screwing our franchise with terrible drafts and set this franchise back years that Joe Shane is trying his ass off to fix, even though there's Giant fans foolishly who want a quick fix and thought, oh, quick fix. No, it takes time. It takes time. Maybe some of that is because of maybe the reason why some Giant fans think that way is because that first year we got to the playoffs in 2022 and had a nice little magic ride there. The roster still needed work. It needed work. And like I said many times, you cannot tell me this roster today in week 8 is not better than the 2022 version that got to the playoffs. But it takes time. And we're starting to build that build that roster up. You see the last 2 drafts have been pretty good, especially this draft. This draft looks like it's going to be a real foundation one for this team going forward, man. But they're going to make a decision because you can't pay your quarterback 40-something million a year, and we don't win games, and there's no improvement in his play and him as a leader and franchise player. It just isn't working here. So you know where this is. Listen, y'all, we know where it's trending. So get ready to hear that. Okay, we just got to face it now. We're 2-6 going nowhere. Halloween is this week, and our season is over. It's over. As far as I'm concerned, it's about the young players playing now. The season's over, man. We're not going nowhere. The Washington Commanders, they're having a really good year. They got their young quarterback, and they're riding high, man. The Eagles are starting to find it. They're starting to get their ish together. Sooner or later, the Cowboys are going to win some games. Where does that leave the Giants this year in this division? We're cooked. That's where it leaves us. We're 2-6. We had some games on this schedule we should have won or could have won, and we didn't. We didn't. For whatever reason it is. And it isn't just because of the quarterback. It's been other reasons. There's been other reasons every time, and that's the problem. It just isn't working. Danny R says Tyrone Tracy definitely proved tonight that he should be our RB1. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's our RB1 going forward. As far as I'm concerned, the Giants need to start trading some assets here at the trade deadline and get some picks back, get something back for these guys. As far as I'm concerned, Singletary can go, Slayton can go. If I get a good deal for Ojulari, he might probably have to go too. It's about building for the future now at this point because the team ain't going nowhere. There's going to be some changes. We got a youth movement coming in with this draft class and these other players. Hey, it is what it is. I'm not saying the roster is complete shit because it is not. Don't let anyone out there tell you that there isn't talent on this team. There's talent on this team, man. It's just a matter of they need to find the right mix of certain other positions that are lacking, like cornerback. Our cornerback room is lacking. Deonte Banks is proving right now, at least he is at least not ready to be a number 1 cornerback or isn't a number 1. He's a number 2, if that. And he's got some immaturity issues of hustling that they need to figure out with him too. A young player, I'm sure they'll figure something out with him. He's a young guy. Hey, some young guys are going to make stupid bonehead decisions. They'll address it. They'll take care of it. But there is talent on this team, okay? And I said coming into this season, I believe that this team was good quarterback, consistent good quarterback play away from becoming a playoff contender to make the playoffs. Not a Super Bowl contender, but a contender to make the playoffs because I believe that this defense was going to be a good defensive unit, that they would have the best pass rush in the division. That is proven to be the case. They lead the league in sacks. So that's done. Don't tell me I'm not crazy. Don't tell me that, you can't say stuff on paper. No, that is happening. They have the best pass rush in the division. They lead the league in sacks, okay? With a young secondary that is improving week to week when they're healthy, but right now they're banged up. They're banged up. The Giants need more in the interior line. They need to fix the run defense. The run defense has not been fixed yet. It's been a weakness once again. It just has been, for whatever reason there's not a lot of depth back there. Roches has not done the job. He's been a bust signing. This is what it is. He hasn't done the job next to Mr. Dexter Lawrence. He hasn't. And the young interior linemen haven't gotten the jump done either. Where's Jordan Riley? I don't hear nothing from him. Davidson stinks. Okay, he's there because he's a body. They picked up some kid named Watts off the street the last couple of weeks. He's been in the rotation. Watts, whatever his name is. There's a reason for that. It's because it isn't good. So they have to address that. There's still work to be done there. But for the most part, this defense has been good, man. It's been good. And once again, they have not given up more than 21 points in a game. Again. What does that tell you? They're improving. The coordinator is doing what he can. The Giants lost 26-18, and 7 of those points was on a punt return. So the defense gave up 19 points despite all the injuries to the cornerback room. They're getting the job done, folks. They're getting the job done for the most part. They are doing what they can. They're on the field a lot because the offense doesn't do enough on the field offensively most of the games they play. Look what they did against the Eagles. They scored 3 points at home. The week before that, 7 points at home to Cincinnati. There's too many games like that, man. But they're holding their own. Another reason why they lost tonight was the 11 penalties were way too high. Let me just say this. I got to say this too, because now it could have affected the outcome of the game. Even though the Giants lost by 8, at least they would be in the game, would have been closer. Who knows what would have happened? But early in the game, they called a touchdown off the board from the Giants inexplicably to me. Ridiculous. That wasn't no damn penalty. How was that an illegal shift when no one moved? They call an illegal shift on neighbors. What kind of bullshit call was that, man? No one moved. Why? Because Slayton scratched his fucking nuts? You call that? Get out of here with that nonsense. That was a BS call, man. A BS call. And it took a touchdown away because that was a touchdown. They called back. They called 5 fucking penalties on that drive alone, man, that they ended up settling for a field goal, and they took a touchdown from us. They ended up with 5 penalties on that drive alone. Some of them were on the Giants, but some of them were shaky as hell, man. There was a hold, too. There was a hold, I believe it was on Runyon, on a big run by Tracy, and they called it back. I didn't see no hold for nothing. Ridiculous, man. As the game went on, though, the Giants started making too many penalties in the second half. Too many. And it was in key spots, too. So it's not all, I'm not here to say that, oh, the refs cheated us, but they cheated us out of that touchdown. Believe that. And I am sick and tired of this crap, that this happening to the Giants all the time. And it seems like the bad teams, this always happens to the bad teams, right? Ridiculous, man. 11 penalties, though, is way too much. Way too much. Way too much, man. We got breaking news. I just saw Tyrone Tracy is in concussion protocol. There you have it. Concussion protocol, man. Not good. Not good at all. That's sad. That is so sad because that kid played his ass off tonight, man. He really did. That, man, just ridiculous, man. He was the Giants' best player on offense tonight was Tyrone Tracy, man. Just love what I've been seeing from this kid. I'm so happy to see the way he's been playing, and just a tough break. And I would be shocked if he plays this week against Washington on a short week. You know, concussions are nothing to play with, man. Nothing to play with. It's very sad. So there's the breaking news on that. So now we know why Tyrone Tracy came out of the game. Let's go to the chat. Danny R says, your thoughts on that shitty 2-point conversion play call? I think with that play call, Dable should no longer be calling plays. Well, let me tell you, I don't know what happened there. I mean, I gotta read more into it, but it looked like either the players weren't ready for the play when they snapped the ball. It's almost like when the ball was snapped, they weren't ready to go. Somebody missed the snap count or something, or missed the play call that came in. It was all loud. I don't know if they couldn't hear the snap count, but when the snap came in, nobody hardly moved on the play, and then they had a chance to work it. So I don't even know if it was really a bad play call from Dable or if it was just the team just didn't execute, because nobody moved. If you look at the replay, nobody hardly moved on that end. The only one that moved was JMS snapping the ball to Jones and Neighbors catching it trying to catch it for nothing. No one else moved. The offensive line hardly moved an inch. No one else moved. So I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna check out and find out, man. Dable's play calling was not the issue tonight. I thought he called a good game tonight, honestly. I did. He featured the run. They took some deep shots. You know what I mean? Like, the play calling really wasn't the issue, man. It really wasn't. I don't think it was really the issue. It was just execution tonight, man. Again, it's just execution. It's tough to judge, man. It's just the execution of the offense all the time, man. And then bad penalties. And of course, that touchdown, that just piece of shit call by the ref taking that touchdown away on that play where they call an illegal shift on Neighbors for no reason when he didn't even move, when no one else moved on the line. I don't know, man. I'll look more into it, but I doubt that was because of that. I'm pissed that we are wasting Neighbors' rookie season with such a crappy quarterback. Well, it sucks. It sucks that the quarterback play isn't up to where we need it to be. Also, Neighbors hasn't done any favors with his drop passes too. Let's be honest. He's dropped some key balls. There was one ball again. Another ball, a deep ball down the right sideline. He could have made a play on it, but he couldn't hold on to it. So Neighbors isn't without fault either. But it does suck that the quarterback play isn't up to par to see what he really could be, because the talent is there, man. We just can't get the quarterback play consistent enough, man. Tyquan Lewis says, I hope, bro, that they let Bobby Okereke keep playing like he did today for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's a good point, because it seemed like Bowen kind of turned Okereke a little more loose tonight. He kind of like let him turn loose. It seemed like a lot of times this season they kind of had him on an assignment and just kind of man in the middle and not really doing too much. They sent him on some blitz packages. He made plays. That forced fumble was a huge play. Could have been a huge play. If the Giants would have been able to tie or win this game, that would have been the play of the game, man. That would have been the turning point of the game. That was a great play by Okereke. So, yes, I agree, man. I hope that this signals they're going to turn him loose more and get him the ball, get him in space more to make plays on the ball. Because we all know Okereke is one of the best linebackers in this NFC, man. They need to get him going, And I'm not saying he hasn't been bad. He's been bad or something, but he hasn't made the impact in this defense that I thought he would be early in the season. And the defense, for the most part, has been solid, which is a scary thought, man, that if they get him going, man, look out. Look out. Key injuries, man. But once again, this defense, holding strong, keeping this team in the games, man. They only gave up 19 points tonight. 19. Now, I'm not saying that Pittsburgh offense is a scary offense or like a juggernaut or none, but that offense is no slouch. They got weapons over there. They got weapons at receiver. We know Pickens is a dog. Good running game, Najee Harris, Warren. They got weapons over there. They got weapons over there. And Russ looks like he's rejuvenated these first 2 weeks he's been back, man. He's been playing solid for them. So, listen. The defense is doing their job. we just cannot get the balance. The offense just keeps on sputtering along and just not doing enough, man. Just not doing enough, man. Just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Another lost season, man. It just sucks. You know what I mean? It just sucks because, you know, you have high hopes for the team. You know, listen, coming into the season, I said if we get good quarterback play, consistent good quarterback play, I should say, because I knew Jones will have his games where he'll be solid or whatever. But if he can elevate as a player, give me 25 touchdown passes, 4,000 yards, you know, be the general of the offense, win because of you instead of in spite of you or because you didn't screw it up. You know, that's what we were looking for this year from him, and it just hasn't happened, and it's probably not. It's just not. With 2-6, listen, just got to face it, man. You know where the writing is on the wall. They're heading toward divorce after the season, man. This is what it is. And I would not be surprised if in the very near future, in these next couple of weeks, they continue to lose. They start making business decisions, you know what I mean? And start saying, hey, maybe we need to play lock and see if we can spark the offense. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? Or DeVito, wink, wink, because we need to wink, wink, spark the offense when we all know that injury clause guarantee in his contract is looming. I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. We know where this is headed, man. But all in all, I'm just like, man, this Giant team, this Giant franchise just cannot get out of their own way right now, man. It's another lost season for the New York Giants, 2-6, season over by Halloween. And you look at the schedule, man. Let's look at the schedule, man. Let's look at the schedule. Before we look at the schedule, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to read some numbers tonight for the game. So total plays, the Giants had 67. They had 63. A lot of the yards came in the last drive. They had 394 total yards. Let's see, 11 penalties, 2 key turnovers, which just iced the game. Especially that last terrible pass with the airmail. You know, Russell Wilson had a real good game tonight. The key was he didn't turn the ball over. You know, he didn't turn the ball. He wasn't spectacular, but he didn't turn the ball over, and he made plays when he needed to. You know, he was efficient, 20 of 28, 278 yards, 1 touchdown pass, no turnovers. Najee had 19 carries, 114 yards. Warren, 9 carries, 46 yards. So, again, the run defense continues to be an issue. It's been the only issue with this Giant defense to me on the season. It's been the run defense. And it's been a problem the last 2 years. So they got to find a way to do something about that. Okay? Also, the Steeler defense. 2 sacks for T.J. Watt, 2 sacks for Highsmith. It's what they do. They're a really good front seven, man. They're a really good defense. It's what they do, man. And, of course, the damn punt return, the turning point of the game, the punt return by Austin, just terrible. Just terrible punt coverage, no containment, no one played discipline out there, just the guy ran untouched, just caught the ball, ran around untouched. You know, Giant special teams has been brutal this year. Just been brutal this year. Between the kicking game fiasco and the kicking in general, Greg Joseph, he stinks. We know that. He isn't good. But, of course, in the past, he'll hit a 60-yarder against us to win the game. Of course. Return game has been non-existent. Whenever Gray got his chance, he fumbles them. The other guy that comes in, he hasn't done nothing. Giant special teams has been brutal this year. And then, of course, now we have a punter that's hurt. And this guy, not much to care about. And looking at the numbers with the Giants, Daniel Jones, 24-38, 264 yards, one fumble, one interception, 2 turnovers, and no touchdowns. None. It's week 8, and he's at 6 touchdown passes, man. And it's week 8. Can anyone out there tell me how many touchdown passes or runs that Daniel Jones has at home this year? Anybody? 0. In fact, the only touchdown the Giants have scored in their building this year has been a Tyrone Tracy rushing touchdown. 1. That is just brutal that this quarterback and this offense can't do crap in their own building and go on the road and play better. As a season ticket holder, that is just fucking brutal, bro. That we have to come out there and watch that slop, and they go on the road and look at least decent. 6 points against Minnesota in week 1. 6. What was it? They kicked like what? 3 field goals? 3 or 4 field goals against the Cowboys on a Monday night? No touchdowns. Cincinnati, they scored a whopping 7 points against the Cincinnati Bengals, who I gotta see the Ravens light their defense up. I gotta see the freaking Philadelphia Eagles light their asses up. We scored 7 points in our building against that team. And of course, against the Eagles last week, we scored a field goal. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. I mean, how do you even explain something like that, man? How do you even go there? How do you even explain that? That is just ridiculous, man. TP, what's goody, bro? What's going on, bro? I can imagine how you're feeling, bro. I am so freaking annoyed right now, bro. Good to see you. Shout out to you, man. Just another game the Giants find a way to freaking lose. I am so sick. I know you probably just hopped on, brother, but I am so sick and tired of seeing this team do this, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And now we got the Washington Commanders next week. Yay. I was counting that game as a win this year. I was counting that game as a win. And look, how confident can I be we're going to win? We can't even score points at home. We don't score touchdowns, and we don't score points at home. And that team flying high. Jaden Daniels throwing miracle Hail Marys with bruised ribs. They got it going. They're on that ride. They looking like 2022 Giant ride right now. The only thing is they really believe in their quarterback, and it's working for them, and we got to mess with this. TP says, it is sad. Bad teams find a way to lose, and we are just that, a bad team. Yeah, I totally agree, and I said that earlier. It's like we find ways to lose. This team cannot get out of their own way. They just find ways to lose, man. And that's what the bad teams do, man. They do it every time. They find ways to lose. Whether it's a missed assignment, whether it's a key penalty at the wrong time, whether it's a key turnover at the wrong time, a bad interception, a bad fumble, a drop pass, a freaking punt return, man. It's ridiculous, man. There needs to be a cleansing in MetLife Stadium with this franchise, man. It just is what it is. Whoever is to blame is to blame. But there has to be a cleansing. There has to be. There has to be it has to be something where it's going to be an amicable divorce with the court. We already know what's going to happen. The quarterback in a franchise is heading that way. We know what it is. Now, the next question is whether this coaching staff survives. Now, Mara already came out publicly and said that the coach and the GM are safe and that he has no intention of changing anything. But if this thing gets out of hand and they have an embarrassing losses for the rest of the season, anything can crop back up, because we saw what happened. It basically took Joe Judge to talk his way out of a job. That idiot, he got himself fired. I think the key is going to be if the locker room still believes in the coaching staff. And right now they still believe because they're playing hard. They're playing hard. Okay? They're not quitting out there. They're giving it their all. They're just making bad plays at the wrong time, like a bad team, like a 2-6 team. So if going forward for the rest of the season, if there's some like quitting going on out there, man, I think it'll come back up, because like we said, no one thought Joe Judge was going to get fired until he did. I think the GM is safe. I think the GM is safe because, Mara's traditions are he don't like to fire GMs. He don't. You saw how that freaking prick David Gettleman, he stood forever. He had a retirement freaking package. He got to finish his career the Giant way, No disrespect to my guy, Dave. Just, you know what I mean by that. It's ridiculous, man. So I think the coach, even though right now he's safe, I still think we got to watch how the team responds for the rest of the season, whether they give up on him, whether you start hearing those things in the locker room about how, the mutiny and dissension and like the crap that we heard with Wink last year. We got to watch out for that. If we don't hear none of that stuff and the team plays hard or whatever, the rest of the string, then okay, I think he'll be back. I like Coach Dable, but his coaching is frustrating. I do too. I like Coach Dable. I like Coach Dable. I don't, his decisions have been shaky this year, no doubt about it. But I do think the play calling was better tonight. I do. They ran the ball a lot more than they did last week, and against Cincinnati, which I thought they should have did way more of. They didn't run the ball against Cincinnati at all. It was better tonight. It was better tonight, I think, in my opinion. I thought the play calling was better, but it's the decision sometimes. It's the decision sometimes. It's just sometimes. I start to think that, is it because he doesn't trust the quarterback, or he just doesn't have the balls and the cojones he had in his first year to start taking more chances? I don't know. Right now, anything's on the table at this point, man. But the play calling was better tonight. We ran the ball well. We just didn't score touchdowns. We had some key turnovers. And again, that freaking punt return, man, that shit was ridiculous. Just a terrible, terrible play to have happen. You can't have those plays happen and expect to win games, especially on the road. I guarantee there's some stat out there that will prove that point. That team, the road team giving up a punt return for a touchdown on the road, hardly ever wins that game. And again, that's a big swing right there. Okay. And then you couple that on top of that, where we got a touchdown taken away over some bullshit call by the ref on an illegal shift for Neighbors when no one was even moving. Just ridiculous, bro. Just ridiculous, It's just unfortunate, this team just can't get out of their own way, because I really feel like the talent is improving on the roster, but it's just not there yet. It's just not there yet. There's still holes that need to be addressed, and the quarterback position is a question mark. and we know where it's heading. So it's like, where do you go from there? Honestly, 2-6, I'm looking at it like this. I want to see some young players playing. Trade Slayton, get him out of here, trade him, get something for him at the trade deadline. I want to see Hyatt on the field. I want to see Hyatt sink or swim. I want to see it. I'm tired of hearing about little things here and there. He's situated. I want to see Hyatt for my own two eyes, whether he can play or not. He's a third-round freaking pick. He should be playing. He should. I need to see it. If I can see Wan'Dale Robinson out there dropping a ball every two or three receptions and he's still getting burned, why can't I see Jalen Hyatt play? I want to see what he got. Trey Slayton, okay, go get something for him. You're going nowhere. You're not going to re-sign him after the season, so you might as well just get something for him now. Add to the treasure chest of draft picks, man, for the draft next year. These are decisions we got to start making now because we're not going nowhere at 2-6. The season's basically over. We're not going nowhere. You know, it's about, to me, playing out the string and developing your young players and seeing what we can do from there. Trey Slayton, free agent after the year, you trade him. Ojulari, trade him. You get a good offer, trade him. Trade him. And if after the season, if you can go back to the table with him and see if you want to bring him back after the season. But the prudent thing to do right now for the Giants is they need to start trading veteran players and get assets for the offseason. That's what they need to do, man. That's what they need to do. You know, they're not going anywhere. You gotta see what's going on. But that's a story for another day. That'll wrap up tonight's show. Giants fall once again. They fall to 2-6 with a 26-18 loss. Just another bad way to lose a game. Another frustrating loss as a Giant fan that we have gone and unfortunately seen too much of these last 6 years, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. We just got to see. We got to find a way to get out this rut. And obviously it won't be this year, but there has to be some big changes coming in the offseason with the personnel here, man. It just is what it is. The next game of the season will be Washington on Sunday. I will be there with my Section 330 crew. Shout out to my Section 330 crew. Can't wait to see y'all this weekend. We'll be at J17 now. We have relocated to lot J17, not J8 no more. We're at J17. So if you want to come stop by, come through, come chop it up with us. You know, we'll talk, chop it up. You know, we got all you can eat drinks, all you can eat food for 30 cash. Hey, you can't beat that price, man. You know, you're going to go into the stadium and spend a whole lot more. Come chop it up and talk some football with us. Or just stop by if you're not interested. That's cool. Come stop by and hang out with us, man. This is what we do, you know. So that's going to wrap up today's show. Before I go, thank you for chopping it up with me tonight. And for those new to the show or stop by this channel, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel. I talk all sports. As you can see, I'm a diehard Giants fan, season ticket holder. I'm still chopping it up, still running with the squad. As a big blue soldier, no matter the record, I'm still here, still talking about games, still hoping for the best. I'm a big Knicks fan. Knicks didn't win tonight, but a lot to look forward to there. I talk about the Knicks. I talk about all New York sports. I talk about the Mets. The Yankees went down, unfortunately, tonight, 3-0. The World Series is just about done. Hey, we do it all on this channel. So, hey, if you like what you hear, hit me with a subscribe, and I'll see you soon. That's going to wrap up today's show. Let's go, Giants. Hey, another loss season we're headed into, 2-6. Hey, let's see what we can do this week. Hopefully play some inspired football and, hey, maybe win a game at home. Let's see. I'll be there. So should you if you have tickets to the game. Come stop by J17 and chop it up with the Section 330 crew. That's going to do it. Shout out to everyone out there that stopped by and rocking with me. That'll wrap it up. Giants go down today. Once again, 2-6. And we lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like and subscribe to Born for Sports. I'm out. Let's go, Giants.